You've been in the big seat, the captain's chair, if you like, when it comes to defence in our nation, Christopher, and you've seen delays that always take place. Do you have any doubt that we can stay to these timelines here?
Look, I'm sure our people on Russell Hill will have done absolutely everything in their power under Admiral Jonathan Meade to make sure that the timelines and the budget are as accurate as possible. Of course, over history, there have been delays in defence projects. There's been blowouts in defence projects. The ones that come in below budget and on time or even earlier, they never get heard about. The ones that are delayed or over budget always get heard about. But the reality is we will do our level best to deliver this on time and on budget, and future generations of policymakers and deliverers of projects will do the same thing, and we will defend our country as best we can in the meantime. I'm particularly excited about the beginning of rotational visits of Virginia-class and Astute-class submarines from the US and the UK, then the purchase of at least 3 Virginia-class submarines in the early 2030s, then the building of our own 8 submarines. The US, Australia, UK relationship, what AUKUS represents, has been a transformational change in the security of the Indo-Pacific, and in some ways represents a failure of Chinese foreign and defence policy. Because if the Chinese government in Beijing had thought that by being more assertive and challenging the US, that the West would shrink away from the Indo-Pacific, they've had precisely the opposite impact.
I mean, does it surprise you at all that Xi Jinping has spoken so strongly, wanting to create the huge steel wall?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all. President Xi has been giving very firm speeches for some years about China's views with respect to the Indo-Pacific. And let's be clear, China has every reason to expect to be treated as a great power. They are one of the 2 great powers in the world. Russia is no longer a great power, but alongside the United States, China sits there and should be treated with respect. All we ask as another nation in the Indo-Pacific is to be also treated with respect and allowed our own space.
I just want to go to South Australia now, your state. How big a deal is this for your state's economy, jobs, and what you hope to get out of it?
Well, the Osborne Naval Shipyard has been transformed in recent years. It's, of course, undertaking the Hunter-class anti-submarine warfare frigates. It finished the Arafura-class smaller vessels, and now, of course, will build the submarines. And a huge new submarine yard will need to be constructed at Osborne. The government has taken a licence over the land to do so. There'll be a specific part of that submarine yard required for the nuclear aspect of the submarine. The attack-class submarines that I had contracted would have created probably around 2,500 to 3,000 direct jobs. The jobs at Osborne will be even greater than that. But this is truly a national project because, of course, the submarines will almost certainly be stationed at Port Kembla in Wollongong. That's the most likely place. And also at HMAS Stirling in Perth. There'll be sustainment and maintenance and full-cycle docking required to be done either at Osborne or at Henderson in Perth. There's a likelihood of a dry dock needing to be built in Henderson in Western Australia. So this is a truly national project covering New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia, and everything in between. It's a transformational for our economy and our military capability.
And just quickly here, I'm out of time, but do we need something on the East Coast? Does there need to be a port on the East Coast for all of this?
Well, there'll almost certainly be a new submarine harbour at Port Kembla in Wollongong, which has immediate access to the deep water in the ocean. I doubt very much they'll be stationed in Sydney. It seems the most likely place, and of course that will all come under this enormous cost.
Yeah. OK, Christopher Pyne, good to see you, as always. Talk to you soon.